What's going on, everybody? Steve V here with another video. Hope everybody's doing well out there. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about this last spot for the last freaking time. I promise. I didn't know I was going to be making a 3-part video on my last spot, but some things have happened. Last week, mid-last week, I ended up finding somebody that was interested in the Frogger cabinet. I ended up selling it. I made a video telling you guys if that cabinet sold, I was getting NFL Blitz. And that was my plan. And I actually pre-ordered it this week. But some things have changed. And I'm going to explain to you guys what the change is and what is actually taking this last spot. Because it might not be NFL Blitz. I'll let you guys know what it is right after this. Welcome back to the channel. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that new intro. That was actually done by my cousin, Jordan Matthew. He's got a YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description. You guys can check it out. Let him know that Steve sent you. He's a great musician that plays multiple different genres. This song, it's called 80s Pop Vibes. He's had it on his YouTube channel for quite a while. When I heard it, I could just picture an intro in my head because of that retro vibe. And I asked him if I could use it. He gave me his blessing. I ended up making a little video package to go with it. And this is going to be the intro I'm going to be using most often, just to kind of freshen up the channel. But you will still see the original one every now and then, because that one was done by my brother. So it's been really cool getting my family involved with the YouTube channel. And they are both amazing. My cousin as a musician, my brother, he edited the old video. So they're both very talented, and I'm blessed to have them in my life, and blessed to have them kind of help me with certain things, because I'm not the most techie guy. But yeah, my cousin did a great job with this song, and it works perfectly for the channel. Definitely check out his channel, and again, the link is in the description. So let me let you guys know the fiasco that has been the last 7 to 8 days involving this last spot. Now, the last video I made, I told you guys I was getting NFL Blitz, and it was because of the replayability of that cabinet. I don't really have any nostalgia for that cabinet, but it just looked like such a fun cabinet to play. And I just could see it being a cabinet that my friends and family would really enjoy. I could see myself playing it with my son when he gets a little bit older. So it was a no-brainer, and that's why I ended up, deciding that was going to be the route I was going to go. So I was just waiting for my Frogger cabinet to sell. It ended up selling. And then the funny story with that is it ended up selling to a coworker of mine, but I didn't know he was a coworker of mine. I ended up taking the cabinet to his house after work because that was the only time I had available to drop it off to him. And I was still wearing my uniform. And when I walked into his house, he asked, he goes, he saw my uniform, he asked where I worked. I told him, and he said he just got a job there. He works in management. So we ended up becoming fast friends. We talked. He let me kind of know about his experience so far. I let him know about mine because I've been at my my job for the last 12 years. So I've been through all the ups and downs. But yeah, I was really happy I sold the cabinet to him because he's got 3 kids. He's got some grandkids. So this cabinet's going to get a lot of use, and he was really excited to kind of have something for his family to play. So once I sold that cabinet, I ended up getting $350 Canadian. I was asking for, so it was a fair price. I know that cabinet is not the most sought after cabinet because of its little flaws, and it was flaws they couldn't control. The song being different, the cabinet look being different than the traditional Frogger artwork. But it's still a great cabinet, and I had a blast with it during the time I had it. But it was time to kind of open up that space for something else. And again, Blitz was my option, but I had 2 other cabinets that were in the running. It was NBA Jam, the 3/4 scale, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. The reason I didn't pick Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was just because I knew I wasn't going to play that cabinet very often. I'm not really good at fighting games, and the only fighting games I really do enjoy playing are Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, because those are the ones I really have the most nostalgia for. and the ones that I really care about having the most in my collection. But Marvel vs. Capcom 2, even though that is a great game, and I do have some nostalgia for that as well, the rest of the games on that cabinet are the games that were on the Marvel vs. Capcom 1 cabinet, and the X-Men vs. Street Fighter cabinet as well. And I just didn't play that cabinet a lot, so it just made no sense for me to spend, you know, $7.99 plus tax to basically bring in a cabinet that has the majority of the games I didn't play the first time when I had the original cabinet. So that one was kind of already out of the running once I kind of realized that. NBA Jam was definitely something I wanted, but I only have room for one other 4-player cabinet. I already have 3 4-player cabinets. I could probably put a 4th to make like a little island, but after that, I just can't fit anymore. So it was between NBA Jam and Blitz, and I think I went with Blitz also because it was more new. You know, it was kind of that new shiny thing. But here's where the situation gets interesting. So I ended up pre-ordering Blitz. I ended up pre-ordering it on the shopping network here in Canada. And the reason I did that was because they offer payment plans. And at this point in my life, a payment plan really helps with the comfort of a big cost like this. Because with tax and everything and shipping, it comes to, you know, about $1,000. And to just fork out $1,000 right off the bat, especially when you got a young family and you're trying to save money, it's a lot. So these payment plans definitely help. And this payment plan was going to go till January. By January, I would have had this thing paid off. So a day or two went by, thought nothing of it. But then I started kind of getting this weird thing where I felt like if I was going to have Blitz, I also needed Jam. But I told you guys, that can't happen because I don't have room for another 2 4-players. It has to only be 1. But in my mind, I could not get over the fact of not having Jam down here as a 3/4 scale cabinet. I do have it as a countercade, but I'm selling that. I just don't play these countercades. I don't know why I keep on buying them, and then I convince myself that I'm going to keep them, but then I don't play them, so then I do end up selling them. Yeah, I just had it in my head that I needed both these cabinets, even though logically I knew I couldn't do that. And it's because NBA Jam, to me, the best way to explain it, it's like if you're collecting, I'm a fan of the old school Ninja Turtles. I have some Ninja Turtle figurines. Of course, I have all 4 of them, right? But it's like, basically, if I were collecting those, but I only had 3, you know that one's missing. People can come over to your house, they can look at that collection and think nothing of it. But in your mind, you realize that one is missing. And that's kind of what was going on in my head with this NBA Jam situation. I felt like for some reason, if I had Blitz, the only thing I would realize is that I'm also missing Jam. For some reason, I connected those 2 together. But in reverse, it didn't seem to matter if I just had NBA Jam, but not Blitz. And I don't know why that is. I think it's because I have more nostalgia for NBA Jam, and it was something that I previously had down here that I sold and miss. It was a really weird situation. It was kind of some weird OCD thing. So it became enough of an issue in my mind where I actually had to cancel my Blitz pre-order because I just couldn't get over the fact of having Blitz down here without Jam. So I kind of just was like, whatever, I need to really think this through. It didn't mean that I wasn't going to get Blitz in the long run. It just meant that at this moment, mentally, I just could not picture Blitz down here without Jam. So, you know, I went about my day. I ended up, you know, telling a few of my buddies that were kind of following the situation. I ended up canceling Blitz. They couldn't believe it. They were like, why? And I explained the situation and kind of used the reference. I actually used a Power Ranger reference. I said, if you were collecting Power Ranger figures and you were missing the red Ranger but had all the other ones, again, people would come over not really think anything of it, but you see that you're missing the red Ranger. To me, that red Ranger was NBA Jam. But yet, I could just have the red Ranger and none of the other Power Rangers, and it didn't seem to matter to me because that was like the main Ranger. It's weird. Weird mental thing, but you know, we all, as collectors, sometimes our minds kind of work a little wonky, and that's how my mind worked when it came to jam. So this is the weird thing. So as I was going about my day yesterday, I got a message from a buddy of mine that had previously told me that he knew somebody that was selling jam. And the situation at that time was that, you know, this gentleman was looking for $400 for his jam, but I would have to wait for my buddy to deliver it to me because, you know, he lived a few hours away from me, and it just wasn't going to work out for me going to pick it up. But I kept on saying no at the time because I was convincing myself that it was Blitz that I wanted, because again, that was the newer cab, and even though I had no nostalgia for it, it just looked like a fun cabinet to play. Well, at this point, I get a message from him again, and he's saying that, you know, NBA Jam is still available, but it's going to be for $350. Now, if you guys remember, I sold my Frogger for $350, so I have the $350 cash. So as soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, this is interesting. And now he told me that the gentleman was actually going to come and deliver it to me. So I was like, there's no way I could say no to that. So I agreed to it, and now it will be NBA Jam that will be taking this last spot. It's a weird kind of situation, but that's what ended up happening, and I actually feel better about it because Jam is really the one that I actually have a connection to. Does that mean I'm not going to be getting Blitz down the line? I don't know, because in order to get Blitz, I would have to sell one of my other 4 players, and I'm not willing to do that right now. But I can comfortably have Jam down here and not necessarily miss Blitz, because Blitz to me is like a secondary cabinet next to Jam. Jam is the #1, and I'm really excited to finally have that back in my Mancave Arcade. So yeah, so a weird twist of events. You know, this one's for sure, this is coming. I talked to the gentleman this morning, and I should have it, you know, sometime within the next week or so. I'm really excited. You know, this is the best deal I've ever got on a cabinet. And this is a cabinet that I know will get played a lot. And that will, you know, put me up to 12, which means all my spots will be full. And there's nothing that I'm willing to part with other than the situations I previously told you about. You know, I'm willing to update Golden Tee if they come out with another 3/4 scale. I'll try to find room for Donkey Kong somehow. Maybe I might have to part with something if Donkey Kong ever comes out. And I did mention Sega Spider-Man, but now I'm starting to think I'm not even going to go that route unless Sega Spider-Man is like a phenomenal cabinet with like great games attached. But if it is just Sega Spider-Man and maybe like one other game, I think I'm just going to stick it out with X-Men, because I was thinking about maybe selling X-Men to bring that in. So yeah, so I feel like I finally put myself in a situation where I feel like I got what I want, and it's time for me to just enjoy what I have. And I feel like I got a good thing with the setup that I have, especially when I get Jam back down here, and I got the countercade up for sale. So hopefully that will sell too, and I'm going to use that money for the stool. So yeah, NBA Jam coming back to the Mancave Arcade. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's been a crazy one. It's been a crazy one, crazy whirlwind. Part 3 of the my last spot video. But it's been a fun one. It's been a fun one, and again, we'll see what ends up happening with Blitz. I still think that's a great cabinet. It still looks really fun, but we'll see what ends up happening, because I'm pretty good down here. I don't know if I really need to try to make room for a 5th 4-player when what I have down here is perfectly fine. So take care, you guys. Thanks for watching the video, and thanks for following this crazy whirlwind that has been the last spot. Take care, you guys. Have a good one.